Welcome to Wanderlust and Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Krystle.
As travel agents with Fantastical Vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 49 of Wanderlust and Wishes. Today, we're really excited to talk about all-inclusive insider tips. We have Emma here from AIC to give us all the down low, all the deets on all-inclusives.
So I'm just going to briefly introduce Emma. She's my AIC BDM. Well, she got an upgrade. But I spent a couple days with her in Cancun last year, and she's just so fun and lively. And when I met with her a couple weeks ago, I was like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? So here we are. So she's going to talk through her properties and all that fun.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And like Krystle said, when she was like, hey, any chance you want to do a podcast? I'm like, absolutely. There's nothing I love more than talking about my hotels. So I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me. But like the girls mentioned, I'm a business development manager. So essentially my job is to only work with travel advisors. And pretty much my job is to be a resource for travel advisors. We provide an inside look into the resorts. So whether it is advice on, is this client a good fit for this hotel? What do you think about this room category? Even the most really, really specific questions. I've gotten some pretty ridiculous questions, but it's all to help out advisors and make sure everybody's having the best vacation possible. So the resorts that I do work with, we mentioned that I work for AIC Hotel Group, but there's a lot of brands underneath that umbrella. The most recognizable brand is probably going to be the Hard Rock All-Inclusive Resorts in Mexico and the Dominican Republic. So we have 5 of those. We have Hard Rock Punta Cana, Hard Rock Cancun, Riviera Maya, Puerto Vallarta, and Los Cabos. So those are our most recognizable brands. But in addition to the Hard Rock collection, we also have our newest hotel that just opened last year, which is Ava Resort Cancun. It's AVA, not ABBA like the band. I always have to specify it's Ava. And our last hotel in our portfolio is going to be Unico 2087, which is our adults-only luxury product. And that was the hotel I was lucky enough to bring Krystle to last year. So she was able to experience that firsthand.
All right. So let's just jump right on in. What would you say is the biggest misconception people have about all-inclusives?
Oh, there's a lot, but I think that it is that the food is bad. A lot of people think that, all-inclusives don't have the ability to make really good food. And that's just not the case at all. All of our properties, I'm very proud to say we have exceptional food. I think Krystle would agree with me.
Yes. I've eaten it like 4 or 5 of them, I think, and each one blows me away each time.
It's so impressive what these resorts are able to pull off. Another misconception, and I know, some people are looking for this on their vacation, some people aren't, but that we have like low quality liquor or the liquor isn't good. At all of our properties, we do have top shelf liquor available at no additional cost. So, if you want a vodka martini, you are able to get Grey Goose, at majority of the bars. So I would say that biggest misconception is that food and alcohol are bad at resorts.
And then kind of to play off of that, I know a lot of people think that there's so many like different upcharges. Can you speak to the upcharges that you guys see kind of across the board for your brands?
Yeah, great question. So every resort does it differently. So I'm just going to be speaking my resorts that I work with.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of times people think that you're just getting nickeled and dimed. It's like, yeah, it is all inclusive, but in reality, you got to pay for this and this. When we say all inclusive, we do mean all inclusive. You could go dine at all of the restaurants that is included in your plan. It doesn't matter what room category you have. There will be options to upgrade something. Like if you go to the steakhouse, we have tons of cuts of steak that are included. But if you want to do like a tomahawk or a really nice lobster tail, that is something where you could see an additional charge. But it's definitely not something needed to have a great vacation. A couple other things that you might need for an additional cost. I shouldn't say need. They are there if you want. It will be things like bowling, laser tag, escape rooms, all of the things that you don't typically see at an all-inclusive. But you are, like I said, you could dine everywhere. You could go to every bar. Every pool has tons of daytime entertainment. We have a lazy river at Hard Rock Punta Cana. We have water parks at Hard Rock Punta Cana and Hard Rock Riviera Maya, completely included for no additional cost. So don't worry, you will not be nickel and dimed coming to our resorts.
I love that you can do a full vacation and not have to spend an extra dime if you don't want to, but you do have the option, a rainy day, hey, let's get the kids and do this and this and this.
And I love it because it's so well priced. Like
Yes.
a game of bowling is like $6. Like you're not breaking the bank for it on the off chance, your kids see it and they want to do it. So no worries there.
Okay. So, next question. For someone that's never booked an all inclusive and maybe they're just a little bit nervous about looking at all the options, what should they look for when choosing the right resort for them?
Every all-inclusive resort is not the same. So it's important to work with a travel advisor who knows the difference in these all-inclusives and can point you in the right direction. I will say it's important for you to think about your vacation and think about what's most important. Everybody has a different priority when they are going on vacation. Some people, they're like, I need an exceptional, huge beach. I need crystal clear waters, white sand. Some people are like, I need 10 out of 10 entertainment in the evening. Like, I want to be entertained every second of my vacation. Other people might be more foodies and they're like, I want really great cuisine, my whole stay. So I do think it's most important to do a little bit of reflection because you are spending a lot of money on vacation. Let's make it worth it. Let's make sure you are picking the right resort. So I highly recommend thinking about what's most important for you and basing your hotel selection off of that.
Yes, that's when people will come to me and be like, or they'll put it on Facebook anonymously. So and so went to this location. Can someone find me the same resort for the same price? And it's like, wait a minute, they were adults only. You want to take your kids, so it's like this whole laundry list of things. Like, are you sure that that's going to work out for you? Because you might go and have a terrible time, even though they loved it.
Absolutely, that's criteria number one. Kids or no kids. That is going to filter out half of the resorts right there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think you even mentioned earlier, some people like having that bar environment, having that kind of nightlife environment is really important. And some people, they just want to chill on the beach all day. And you're going to have a different vibe at different resorts. And depending
Totally.
on your personality and what you want, you have to look at those things.
What would you say sets your properties apart from other all-inclusives on the market?
Oh, I love this question. It's my favorite question to answer. I love it because I think the biggest thing that sets us apart and one of my favorite things about the brand is that going back to nickel and diming, we don't nickel and dime. We don't have a preferred club at any of our resorts where you need to purchase a certain level of room category to have access to everything. At all of our hotels, we say everyone's treated like a rock star. So if you are in an entry-level room at Hard Rock Riviera Maya, that could be a deluxe gold room. You know that you are going to have access to everything that people in a higher category are going to have access to, whether that's restaurants, pools, everything, entertainment, entry-level room, you got access to everything. So I would say that's the one thing that's going to set us apart from everybody else.
Yes, come on. Ava has all oceanfront. Like, you can't
Correct.
find that at every single resort.
Oh, you can't. I can't wait to dive into that one.
I know it's a misconception, but all of your properties need a passport. Yes.
All of the ones that we're talking about today, yes, we do need a passport. So we're strictly talking about the Mexico and the Dominican resorts. So yes, please make sure you have a valid passport before you're looking at any of these resorts.
Okay. So we mentioned earlier, you went through the different properties specifically for Hard Rock and Ava. Can you kind of talk through the differences between those two resorts?
Absolutely. So the difference between Hard Rock and Ava, while they are both family-friendly properties, so any age can go, Ava is going to offer a much more modern, contemporary, minimalistic vibe. It's going to be very sleek. Like Krystle mentioned earlier, every single room is oceanfront. So I think this is going to be a little bit more of an upscale option. Also at Ava, it's going to be very food and beverage focused. Yes, I said Hard Rock has great food, which is true. But a cool thing about Ava is that every restaurant is chef driven. So what that means is that every restaurant is going to have its own chef and its own kitchen. That's something very uncommon for all-inclusive resorts. Usually a chef is serving sushi one way and spaghetti the other. That's not the case at Ava. When you go to an Ava restaurant, you really feel like you are in a separate entity. It's not just like a hotel restaurant. It's a restaurant within a hotel. Each restaurant has its own, like I said, identity. It has its own plateware, glasses, totally different vibe. And Hard Rock is the best. The thing about Hard Rock is you're at a Hard Rock when you're there. Unlike Ava, which is very modern, contemporary, and minimalistic, Hard Rock is just a lot. Like I said, there's no confusing it with anything else. The decor, the vibe, and entertainment are just going to be next level. And I will say this, there's a lot of people that are Ava people. There's a lot of people that are Hard Rock people. Plenty of people can do both. Not everybody. Some people are just Ava people and some people are just Hard Rock people. But I think that, I could definitely do both brands and I love them both.
Yes, definitely for different reasons too. Like I was trying to sell John on, I was pulling Ava prices this week and I was like, hey,
Take a look at this one. It's
like
pricing out great right now. This is the time to book it.
I feel like I would be an Ava person, don't you think, Krystle?
yes.
Over Hard Rock.
Oh, you did not even hesitate with that. You said yes.
This is the person we go to Disney and she stays at the Riviera and Pop Century might not be her vibe.
Got it. I'm following along. Yes, you got to check out Ava then. And like I said, Krystle mentioned this earlier, but every single room is oceanfront. And we mean like 100% true oceanfront room. There's not one obstructed view here. We also have a lot of options for families with young kids. So we have one category that is super popular right now is the FNF Sundeck Suite. So great for families with little kids because everyone kind of has their own bed. There's a door that shuts completely to the kids' room and mom and dad could continue vacation. They don't have to go to bed because the kids are going to bed.
I love that little room. It's so unique and it's so cute. All right, let's move over and talk through. We've talked a little bit, but kind of give like a highlight of each property.
Absolutely. So we'll start with Hard Rock Riviera Maya. Hard Rock Riviera Maya, it's when you think of Riviera Maya in my mind, it's Hard Rock Riviera Maya. It is green, it is lush, it has a little bit of something for everybody. So this is our only Hard Rock property with two separate sections. We have an adults only section and a family friendly side. So the adults only section is called Heaven, obviously. It's the smaller section of the resort, but all of the restaurants, we have a brand new pool there. Everything is upgraded and new. So if you're staying in the adults only section, you have access to the whole property. So it's kind of like a win-win in my personal opinion. But Hard Rock Riviera Maya, it's our most popular hotel for destination weddings. Because when you have a destination wedding, you usually want to make sure that it's a resort that your guests are going to enjoy a vacation at as well. They're investing time and money to come down. So, it's kind of a no-brainer to have a resort that has something for everyone. It is on the larger side. So if you want a variety of restaurants, activities, this is a no-brainer.
This one is like the most well-known of your properties because of the water park. You hear it mentioned a lot among just advisors and people travel. So this one, yes.
It's an easy win for everybody. Food is exceptional. The service is always outstanding there. Another really cool thing that we have at Hard Rock Riviera Maya, whenever I have multi-generational families that are looking to go somewhere, this is what I recommend. When I have families with young kids, this is what I recommend because in addition to the water park, we also have a trampoline park inside, which is, once again, not an additional cost, but we also have rock climbing, bowling, laser tag. We have a video game facility. Those are going to be at an additional cost, but it's honestly like a teenage kid's dream because I always say like that 12-year-old age is really tricky. It's hard to get a 12-year-old to sit by a pool for like a week straight, but having the water park and all those activities on site, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, that's my catch-all. When you have kids of all different ages, no-brainer. But Hard Rock Cancun, sometimes people confuse these two, obviously, because you're flying into the same airport, I understand. But Riviera Maya is going to be close to an hour south of the Cancun airport, and Hard Rock Cancun is just going to be a quick 10-minute drive. Now, Hard Rock Cancun, when people think of Cancun, this is what they're thinking of. It is going to be in the hotel zone. So if you don't know what the hotel zone is, that's essentially the hustle and bustle of Cancun. That's where you see a ton of high rises all next to each other. And this is going to be a 600-room resort. And having it a high rise, you could get to dinner in 4 minutes. It's nice and compact. It has a beautiful pool and wonderful, wonderful views. So I think that this hotel is great for a quick weekend getaway. I will say it's probably the most high energy out of all of our hotels, and that's just because of the location being in Cancun and nice and compact. I think that this is our Hard Rock property with the least amount of little kids at it. Yes, we still have a great kids club. We have kids clubs at all of the Hard Rocks, but it's going to attract more young adults, adult-only vacations, like I said, because it's in Cancun. And the number one feature to this hotel is the beach. The beach is unreal. When you want, beach is at the number one spot for your list on your vacation, check out Hard Rock Cancun. And after that is Hard Rock Los Cabos. So we're flipping to the opposite side of the country and we're going to be on the Pacific side. So something very important to know about Cabo as a destination as a whole is that a lot of Cabo is not on a swimmable beach. So Hard Rock Los Cabos is on a beautiful stretch of beach, but it's not going to be swimmable. So it's going to offer you the most beautiful views, beautiful sunsets, and there's so many pools there, you won't even miss the ocean is what I tell everybody. But that's just a little insider trick for Cabo. But
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss that when they are like, oh, we can't swim in Cabo. No, sorry.
yes, especially when they see the beach because it looks beautiful. But let me tell you guys, it's dangerous. Don't do it. If you're going to Cabo, just know you're not going in the ocean. But you can look at it from your pool chair. How about that? It's kind of a win-win. But at Hard Rock Los Cabos, we have some of the most repeat clients to Hard Rock Los Cabos. And this is one of our most modern contemporary hotels. So Hard Rock Los Cabos was built and opened in 2019. So I always say if you go to like Hard Rock Cancun and then you go to Hard Rock Los Cabos, it's a totally different vibe, just a lot more modern and contemporary. But I think that this hotel is the perfect size. It's like 640 guest rooms. It's a little bit more stretched out. There's a variety of different pools. So, you don't need like a golf cart to get to dinner, but, you're not seeing the same three faces your whole vacation. In my mind, I think that's a perfect size. But like I said, I'll say this, Julie, you might not think you're a Hard Rock person, but if there was going to be a Hard Rock you might like, Hard Rock Los Cabos might be the one for you.
I agree. I could see it.
Yeah. It's like, it's quite luxurious. So just keep it in your back pocket. Maybe you could check it out on your own and let me know your thoughts.
Good to know. Well, I think my kids would love Riviera Maya.
Oh, yeah.
So.
How could they not? So next up is Punta Cana, and this is the property that Krystle just got back from.
Yes, I was there last week.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I haven't been there since last year. I'm due to go back. But Punta Cana is quite literally a little town. This is our largest hotel. It is very large. But if you like a large resort, this is a no-brainer. I've been to a lot of resorts other than my own, and I can honestly say Hard Rock Punta Cana is probably one of the best properties in Punta Cana, as a region. Everything you could possibly think that you want is going to be here. So it has 1,800 guest rooms, just shy of. It's a lot, but I promise you 2 days there, you get lay of the land and it's easy to get around. If you like Hard Rock Riviera Maya, you're probably going to love Hard Rock Punta Cana because they have a ton of similarities. They're both larger properties. They have a ton of activities on site, but Hard Rock Punta Cana had all of their guest rooms renovated about 3 years ago. So they're very modern, contemporary. They're super spacious as well. But the one thing that Punta Cana has over Riviera Maya is going to be the beach. The beach at Hard Rock Punta Cana is to die for. If you want a huge beach with a ton of sand, beautiful water, Hard Rock Punta Cana all the way. It's everything you want at one really big resort.
I didn't realize that you could have a beach that big and spacious at an all-inclusive resort.
Right?
It's massive. There's such a wide stretch that you could be in your own little bubble and not have anyone within 20 yards of you either direction.
Yeah. There's so much space to spread out. Like Hard Rock Cancun, beautiful beach. It's, in my personal opinion, my favorite beach, but it is a lot more compact. Like you said, Punta Cana, you could spread out. There's sand for miles, great for morning walks if that's something that you're looking for. So yeah, Hard Rock Punta Cana, easily my most popular resort. The room renovation definitely helps as well because those rooms are huge. Honestly, the entry-level room at Hard Rock Punta Cana might be larger than my first apartment when I graduated college. But after Hard Rock Punta Cana, we have Hard Rock Vallarta, which is the total opposite of everything I just said. If you want a much more intimate, boutique-style hotel, Hard Rock Vallarta all the way. So I say that this is a great property for people who have maybe been there, done that at the typical Cancun Riviera Maya resort. That's a very popular destination. And if you want to spice it up and see something different, Vallarta is always what I recommend. It's going to offer a much more old school, authentic Mexico feeling. So if you're not familiar with Vallarta as a destination, it is beautiful, dark sand beach. So it's not going to be like the Cancun white sand. It's going to be beautiful, golden, but also, to be honest, I'm usually more of a pool person. Hard Rock Vallarta's beach is exceptional. The water is always a lot warmer than other destinations. The sand is so soft, and it's just such a chill vibe. So this is our smallest hotel currently with 364 rooms, if I could remember correctly. So just shy of 400. If you want exceptional service, you're going to get that a little bit more at a smaller property because chances are the bartender's going to remember your face, is going to remember what you're drinking, and that's something people really appreciate, during their vacation. So if you want chill, zen, but still, know you're at a Hard Rock property. Hard Rock by Art is a no-brainer. And that beach is 10 out of 10. And that's all of the Hard Rock properties. But now we could take a look at, my favorite hotel to talk about right now, which is Ava Resort Cancun. So I mentioned this earlier. It is our second largest hotel, just shy of Hard Rock Punta Cana. But something cool about Ava is that it's not stretched out across, very large grounds. You don't have to walk 10 minutes to dinner every night because it's going to be in a high rise. So Ava Cancun is going to be a high rise 8 minutes away from the Cancun airport. And like I said earlier, every single room is oceanfront. Brand new property, brand new brand. So we're able to do some really cool stuff there. If you need, a family-friendly vacation with exceptional food and views are really important for you, Ava is definitely going to be my recommendation. And Krystle,
beautiful.
Right when a week after.
Yes. It was just so beautiful. And I can't, even I was going through videos and pictures the other day, and just each restaurant was so unique and is so beautifully done. And I was just I feel like this is all magazine quality worthy. Each picture I had, I was like, oh, I want to go back.
I know. And it's funny. It doesn't even look like it's all at the same resort,
No. I could have been screenshotting
could have been in Europe.
websites of some. Yes.
So, something also that I love about Ava is, yes, it's a family-friendly property, but we don't really want to just say family-friendly. Our slogan is Ava is for all. Because even if you're going there for a girls' trip or, whatever it may be, you are able to find what you're looking for. So at Ava, we believe every experience is meant to be celebrated. That's the belief behind us building Ava. And I like it because when people build hotels, they think about things that we would never think of. For example, the North Tower of Ava, you're naturally going to see a lot more kids because that is the side of the hotel that has the kids club, that has the theater, that has the family-friendly pool. But when you go to the South Tower, even though it's not a clear cutoff, no kids past this point, we have our adult-only pool on that side. We have 2 adult-only restaurants. We have 1 adult-only room category. So it's naturally going to filter out, some more kids. So no matter what you're looking for, you're going to be able to find it at Ava. And that hotel is the only hotel that I think gives Hard Rock Punta Cana a run for its money when it comes to the kids club. One of the most impressive kids clubs I've ever seen. So if you're looking for a vacation where you could drop your kid off and pick them up again at 9 p.m. and know they're going to have a great time, Hard Rock Punta Cana and Ava, definitely my recommendations there.
I also love the bay, the pool, because it has 0 entry, but you can also feel like you are in the ocean.
Yeah, so we are the only, if I remember correctly, we are the only all-inclusive resort in the world to have a pool built by Krystle Lagoon Technology. So we have a 2-acre saltwater pool smack dab in the middle of this resort. And this saltwater pool is more energy efficient than a standard all-inclusive pool, which is crazy to think about. Even though Ava is our second largest hotel, it is our number 1 most energy efficient hotel. And they do all sorts of cool stuff at Ava, like all of the carpet in the hallways of the guest floors. It's all made from recycled plastic from the ocean. All of the paint on the walls at Ava is made from a local mineral, found in a root from a tree, that helps keep air conditioning costs down because it's naturally cooling. We're doing so many things at Ava that no other resort is doing. So that's why I love to talk about it. It's just one of a kind. You've never seen a hotel like this one.
I remember Krystle coming back and talking about the pool.
It's spectacular. So when you're looking from your oceanfront room, it's so funny because it kind of trips you up because it's is that the ocean? Oh, wait, no, that's the ocean. You have these 2 massive bodies of water in front of you. So double water view.
Cool. Yeah.
That's cool. But the last resort in our portfolio is going to be Unico 2087 Hotel Riviera Maya. So 2087 actually stands for the longitude and latitude coordinates of the hotel because it's the only one of its kind for now. And when we opened the Unico brand about 8 years ago, the purpose was to showcase modern, contemporary version of Mexico out there. We know it and we love it, but it's nice to experience something authentic, what Mexico looks like today. So Unico, I could talk about this hotel forever, honestly, but I'll leave it at this. It's effortless. And when I explain Unico, I say that it's relaxed luxury. So what that means is you are going to get 5-star service, 5 diamond service, but it's not going to feel stuffy. It's not going to feel pretentious. It's such a relaxed environment. So I'm from Wisconsin. So when I tell men from Wisconsin that they don't need to pack pants and closed-toed shoes and a collared shirt to go to dinner, they're ecstatic. It's just easy. There's a lot of adult-only resorts out there that are going to be very strict on dress code. And we approach vacation in a totally different way. We're like, who are we to tell you what to wear on vacation? The vibe at Unico is like Tulum meets Palm Springs. It's green, it's fresh, it's lush, it's just exceptional. Just like how Ava is very food and beverage focused, so is Unico. So pretty much everything that we did at Unico worked so well, we just replicated it at Ava when it comes to food and beverage. So every restaurant has its own chef, its own kitchen. And like I mentioned earlier, the purpose of Unico is to showcase modern contemporary Mexico. So every year we get a different local chef with a different specialty in a different Mexican cuisine. And it's our rotating chef program at Cueva Siete, which is our Mexican restaurant. So if you were at Unico a year ago, the menu is going to look totally different now because we have a totally different chef. That's how we keep things from getting stale and boring. This hotel's been open for 8 years, and it is a crowd pleaser no matter what.
When we were there, we did kind of like family style meals, and I think we ate it all except for maybe one we didn't eat at. But I don't think I ate anything I didn't like. Like everything was so good. And I tried basically the entire menu at each. And every time I like walked away and I was like, shoot, I need some bigger pants because this was all so good. I just kept wanting to eat.
Yes. So once again, like you got to think about what you're looking for on vacation. If you want to try all sorts of new foods, and eat your way through vacation, maybe Unico and Ava are a place for you. It goes back to what we were saying before. You just got to think about what's most important. But I can honestly say Unico, crowd pleaser, everybody loves it. And I think it's a really good size. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I get lost everywhere I go. I never know where I am. The one resort I never get lost at is going to be Unico 2087. And that's because the resort's shaped like a horseshoe. So it's impossible to get lost. All of the rooms face the ocean. It takes me like 7 minutes to get from one side of the resort to the other. It's just really, really easy.
If you go the wrong way, just turn around and you'll get back where you need to go. Okay, so here is a very important question. What property is your favorite?
I hate this question.
So this change every like 6 months, depending on which visit you're at?
Yes, actually it does because it depends what I'm going for. I know I keep saying this, like it depends what you're looking for on vacation. If I'm going with my fiance just to get away for, 3 nights and we want to eat, we want to drink really good cocktails and we want to just, be in bed early, we don't feel the need to like stay out super late. I'm going to say Unico all the way. If I'm looking to relax, recharge, that's where I'm going. If I want something really easy in the sense of, I'm going for 2 nights in and out really quick. I just need some sunshine, but I really want to eat a lot, drink a lot. It's going to be Ava. I'm actually going to Ava next weekend for 2 nights with my mom just to get away, get a little sunshine, just because it's so easy. And, I'll tell you this, when you wake up in the morning, pull back the shades, and the first thing you see is the ocean, there's something really, really appealing about that. But if I'm going on a girls' trip and I want a ton of entertainment, I want to stay up late, I want to, party a little bit, it's Hard Rock Riviera Maya. But then I feel bad because Cabo is also really great. The rooms at Cabo are awesome. Punta Cana, I love because it has a casino. So it's our only Hard Rock with a casino at it. And that will provide hours of entertainment. I know this is not the answer you're looking for. I'm just thinking out loud. But I'll say this, my favorite resort right now, it's Ava. Right now, I think it's Ava. And we'll leave it at that.
Okay, so to play off of that, we have some categories. Which would you say is the best for young kids?
Hard Rock Riviera Maya, for sure.
What about with teens?
I'm going to say Ava.
I was surprised that you put that. I was kind of thinking Punta Cana, but I can see Ava too.
I'm going back and forth. I'm going to say those ones are a tie. It depends on the kids.
It could be both. Do you want to go to Mexico or do you want to go to the Dominican?
Exactly. It depends on the destination. So I'll say this. The best location for a family of vacation with teens could be either Ava Resort Cancun or Hard Rock Punta Cana. And I'm going to say it like that because they're 2 totally different destinations. If your teen wants an exceptional beach, Hard Rock Punta Cana. But something common with the kids nowadays is they want something super Instagrammable. So Ava Resort Cancun is going to offer a ton of, great Photoshop. So those are both of my options there. Hard Rock, Punta Cana, or Ava.
Okay, what about a bachelorette or girls trip?
Hard Rock, Cancun, no brainer. And I'm saying that from experience because less than 2 weeks ago, I just came back from my bachelorette party at Hard Rock, Cancun, and it was epic. We had 21 girls total go. It was a mix of my friends my age, my aunts, and my cousins. So Hard Rock is great, like I said, for people of all ages. The beach was exceptional. We didn't do anything super structured. We just hung out at the beach and pool all day. But Cancun is great because it's in the hotel zone. So if you want to leave property and do Coco Bongo, if you want to go to a nightclub, if you want to go off property for dinner one night, it's so easy. We literally walked out the front gate of Hard Rock Cancun, walked across the street, went to a restaurant and a club, and walked right back. It's high energy. It's epic. I could talk about my bachelorette party forever.
It looks like you had so much fun. I was like living through your pictures. I was like, oh, she's off having the best
so many.
You kind of already covered this, but a couple's getaway.
Unico 2087, no brainer.
Okay, what about a guy's golf trip?
Hard Rock Punta Cana. And I say that because we own the Hard Rock Punta Cana Golf Club, and it's right on property. So if you have guys that want to golf every single day, they don't need to go on a long transfer ride for it. It's all right there.
It's golf cart right away, literally. And then we also kind of covered this, but the weekend getaway.
Weekend getaway, I'll say Ava or Hard Rock Cancun, depending if you want more entertainment or something a little bit more chill.
What about the property that surprises guests the most? Maybe they go because, you gave it such a glowing review, but they were a little bit unsure that that's what they wanted, or they didn't really know what to expect, but they ended up absolutely loving it.
I'm going to say Ava. I know it sounds like I'm talking about it a lot, but it's because it's kind of a sleeper resort in the sense that you don't know what to expect. Like I mentioned, it's a brand new brand. When you hear Hard Rock, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's a ton of entertainment. Ava is something brand new that you got to kind of experience firsthand. When you realize that every room is oceanfront, when you realize the convenience, that short transfer ride, the top-notch level of the food and drink, I think my answer is Ava. And like I said, we're the only resort that has a 2-acre saltwater pool in the middle of it. Like the way it's built, there's no hotel like it. It's one of a kind.
I was already sold on it, and I think my kids would be completely sold on it just based on that they love staying at the Riviera as well.
Julie, we got to get you there.
So, yeah.
They can have separate beds there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
And also, since it's a new hotel, things like, that you don't think about. A lot of hotels have 2 double beds. But at Ava, we have 2 queen beds. That makes a big difference on vacation for families.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, moving on. Just a couple of tips and tricks. What's something guests often overlook when planning a stay at one of these resorts?
Transfers. That sounds silly, but a lot of times people are so wrapped up in where they're staying, they forget how they're getting there. So make sure you think about your transfers. And not only, I'll say, in my personal opinion, I think that private transfers are 1000% worth it. A lot of times with shared transfers, you are stopping at 32 resorts on the way to your own. You're in a car with a ton of other people, and you're eating up your whole first day of vacation. So my answer is transfers. Pay for the private transfer. It's 100% worth it.
John and I were just actually talking about this in Punta Cana because I think now with Uber, people will just automatically assume that you can get there and just Uber anywhere. And that's not the case when you go internationally. Especially in the Cancun airport, how overwhelming it is when you walk out and you are bombarded by so many people of get this car, let me take you somewhere. And even just from a safety standpoint. And then John and I asked him, I said, do you want to do the shared? Do you want to do the private? And he's like, what's the difference? And I said, it's $30. He's like, oh, do the transfer all day because we're to our resort instead of sitting and waiting for an hour for the bus to fill up and then making all the stops. And he even said, he's like, that was so smooth. I can't imagine getting here and not knowing how I'm getting to my resort.
100%. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I always think things that save you time and are more convenient, I always think they're worth the money.
Yes.
I always think they are.
I'm at that point in my life, I'll pay for the convenience of it. And also, if you're on vacation only for 4 nights, 5 nights, don't waste one of those days, in a bus with a ton of people you don't know. That's not fun.
And you've just gone through, airport and customs and all of just all of that. Not after going through all of that chaos and then having to deal with chaos trying to get to the resort is just frustrating. Are there any hidden gem experiences or restaurants on any of the properties that guests should check out when they're there?
Hard Rock Punta Cana, Bistro Med. It's one of the quick dining options at Hard Rock Punta Cana. It's the only Hard Rock that has this restaurant. So at all of our Hard Rocks, you're going to find a Zen, which is our hibachi. You're going to find Toro, which is our steakhouse. You're going to find Chow, which is Italian. But we only have one Bistro Med, and it's at Hard Rock Punta Cana. And everybody on my team, we know we will eat there once a day if we are there. The kebabs are delicious. They have a delicious cucumber salad, the hummus, the baba ganoush. That is the hidden gem. And it's very unassuming because it's just in the boulevard next to a ton of shops and restaurants and bars. Go to Bistro Med.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That makes me want to go right now.
I mean, it's so funny because it's not any of the other Hard Rocks. You don't know unless you know.
I'm also going to add to this that the hat painting lady at Unico is a hidden experience.
Krystle, thank you. That's why I need you because there's just so many answers. Yes. So at Unico 2087, every guest gets a complimentary straw hat. And we have guy hats, we have girl hats. And during your stay, every other day, just about, we have a local artist that will come and complimentary paint your hat. So it could say whatever you want. A lot of our honeymooners get just married or Mrs. Carnes or whatever it may be with a cute little design next to it. And it's a great keepsake and token to come home with. And in addition to that, because I just remembered another one from Unico, the customizing your bath products at Unico. So we have a fabulous spa at Unico 2087, and you are able to go there and customize your bath products. So if you really like eucalyptus or lavender, you are able to diffuse your bath salts, your lotion, your shower gel, whatever it may be. Now I just thought of another one. Another thing at Unico 2087 is going to be our signature scents. So if you've ever been to Unico, you know what I'm talking about. As soon as you walk through the lobby, you smell this amazing scent. It relaxes you right away. We have 4 signature scents at Unico. And during your stay, you could request whatever scent you want to be put in your room in your diffuser. So if you really love the lobby scent, you could put that in your room. If you like the spa scent, you could put it in there. And there's a couple other ones to pick from. So I will say, pick your scent, have it be put in your room in your diffuser during your stay, and you can purchase it when you leave. So this isn't something we had originally, but a couple years into Unico being open, we had so many questions for people being like, how do I get the smell at home? So you are now able to buy the Unico scents in either oils, room sprays, or candles. And let me tell you, my apartment in Milwaukee smells like Unico 24/7 because I have it pumping through my diffusers at all times. So that was a long answer again, but those are my 3 little insider tips that I have for the resorts.
I love my hat. I have it. It's hanging right here in my closet. It has my name on it with like a little sea turtle. And it made for the perfect Instagram pictures.
Absolutely. And Unico used to, a couple years ago, it won an award for like most Instagrammable resort in Mexico. So take a look at the photos. If you know, you know.
Can you give us any hints about what's coming next? I know some, but I don't know if I was allowed to share.
Yes, we have one really big announcement. Obviously, we've been hyping up Unico and saying what a great resort this is. And we're so excited to expand the Unico collection. So later this year, you will see Unico Puerto Vallarta opening. And this will open in September. We just opened it for guests to start booking now. So Unico Vallarta is going to be very small. It's going to be our now smallest hotel that we have with 140 guest rooms or so. So it's going to be very boutique-y, very intimate. 95% of the rooms are oceanfront. So we saw what worked at Ava. We're like, let's keep doing it. And everything you love about Unico 2087, Riviera Maya, is going to be at Puerto Vallarta, but it's going to have a totally different vibe because once again, we want to show the local culture of wherever the hotel is. So you can expect Unico Vallarta to have, instead of a heavy Mayan presence and influence, it's going to have a lot of the local Vallarta culture. So that one is opening September of this year. And next year, we are going to have Unico Montego Bay. And Unico Montego Bay, it's a long time coming. This is our first hotel in Jamaica. And we don't have an exact opening date, but we do know it's opening in 2026. So that's the latest with us.
Oh my
Jamaica
gosh.
needs it. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
I was going to say that is going to be like selling like hotcakes because there is not enough there.
And I can't wait to see, like I said, every Unico is going to have what you love about it, which is amazing food, beverage, the accommodations are exceptional, but it's going to have its own local flair. If you've been to Unico Riviera Maya, we got to get you to Unico Vallarta later this year and Unico Montego Bay next year. You could just keep checking them all off the list as we build them.
Okay,
I'm
Krystle,
so excited.
it's time to plan.
I
Yes.
know.
We need to go.
I'm down.
Why should someone use a travel advisor when booking an AIC property?
The reason you should be using a travel advisor for your vacation is simple. It's because they have a me. They have a me at just about every resort out there, cruise line, whatever it is, and they know the product. So one, if you are using a travel advisor like Julie or Krystle, they are going to point you in the right direction. Earlier we were talking about the way to pick a resort for your vacation is to think about what's most important to you. If you come to Krystle or Julie and you're like, I really want to go and have a super relaxing vacation, I want 10 out of 10 food, and you're like, I think Hard Rock Los Cabos is going to be the perfect destination. They'll be like, yeah, that's a good option. But what I'm going to recommend instead is going to be Unico Vallarta or Unico Riviera Maya. They know the product. They're going to be able to point you in the right direction. And they are going to be able to think about all of the little details that you might not be thinking about. We mentioned transfers. They're going to have a transfer company that they totally recommend that they work with closely. So always work with a travel advisor. One, because they know the product. Two, they have a BDM like Emma at every resort to help you out and, make sure you are celebrating accordingly. And, let them do the hard work.
We love it.
This is
We
why
love
we
doing
love
it
you.
too. Yeah.
Okay. This is not on our notes, but we have a little lightning round.
Yeah, we like to surprise.
Nice.
We like to surprise our guests, and so we don't put this on the notes.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Question 1: what is the most memorable place you've ever traveled to?
I'm going to say Jordan. I went to Amman, Jordan, but then also right next to that, I'm going to say the pyramids of Giza when I went to Egypt.
That's interesting. See, it's so different from everybody of what their favorite is. Do you have a favorite vacation destination? We might be able to guess this.
Oh, it's Mexico. No question. I could go to Mexico every weekend for the rest of my life and be happy. People are nice. It's beautiful. The weather's exceptional. The food is great. It's an easy flight. Cancun all day long.
What's your favorite activity or excursion that you've done while traveling?
Favorite? I did a felucca ride in Egypt down the Nile. That was pretty epic. But if I could plug Mexico, because like I said, I could go to Mexico forever.
Go for it.
Think of going to Mexico. If you go to Cancun, Riviera Maya area, the number one excursion I'm going to recommend is going to be cenotes. Cenotes is something that is, unique to the Riviera Maya region. They're beautiful. Great way to spend a day.
I love that. What is your favorite hotel or resort that you've stayed at or one that you dream about visiting?
Great question. So I'm not going to do an easy cop out and say one of my resorts. I did a stay at the St. Regis in Amman, Jordan, and that was probably one of the best resorts I've ever been to in my life. The spa was amazing. The poolside service was 10 out of 10. That's my answer for that one.
That means it's really good if they give great service, and you've been to a lot of resorts.
Been to a lot. And that one, St. Regis and Amman, blew me away.
What's one thing that you always pack no matter where you're going? Other than underwear. I hope that is included.
That one's a given. I'm going to be honest. I'm not one of those people that packs days in advance and has all these little fun. I'm not. I'm a very basic packer. Lysol wipes. I Lysol my seat every time I get on a plane. Just Lysol wipes. Keep it simple. Oh, I lied. Eye mask. I'm a sensitive sleeper. I never know what the room situation is going to look like if it's bringing in light. My blackout eye mask. That's where I bring on every trip.
Yeah, I'm all about the earplugs. I cannot, no noise so that I can sleep.
Both great ones. All right, last one. What is a travel tip you swear by?
Use a travel advisor.
Thank
That's
you.
a no-brainer. Use a travel advisor. That is my number one travel. I meet strangers on the street and they're telling me about a trip and I'm like, oh, did you use a travel advisor? They're like, no. I'm like, why not? Use a travel advisor.
Well, I think there's a misconception a lot that you have to pay for it or it's extra and it's no. Even if you like to plan your own trips, having someone there to help you answer questions when you're not sure, it doesn't hurt. know.
100%. And I also tell people this, if that's like something that you enjoy, absolutely. Like you could go ahead and put it together an itinerary, run it by an advisor and be like, what do you think? And they could be like, yes, or like, hey, I actually don't recommend this, or I heard this resort's under construction right now. They're going to know information that you're not going to know. It's just the fact. I mean, you could be the best Googler of all time. They are going to know things that you're not going to know. Let a travel advisor help you. And I will say this, working on the resort end, reservations that come through with an advisor attached versus reservations that come through just on the consumer site, reservations with an advisor will always have better service and will be made priority over bookings made on a consumer site. It's just facts. See, they don't know until they know. We got to tell them.
I know.
Thank you so much, Emma. This was so great.
This was so fun. I could do this all the time.
This is definitely something that I have on my list that I need to experience that I haven't experienced yet. And so I loved everything that you said, all of the things, all of the tips. They were really helpful.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, come on over. We'd love to have you.
Thank you again. Thank you for being so great. And I just love this brand. And our fellow travel advisors probably get sick of me because they're like, what about this location? I'm like, have you checked the Hard Rock?
That's why we love you, Krystle. Yeah, we're here for whatever you guys need. So thanks for having me. I hope I didn't give too long-winded answers, but I could talk about my resorts forever. So I hope I kept it nice and brief.
No, you were perfect. You're perfect. And thank you so much to all of our listeners. We hope that you found this information helpful and have a great week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wanderlust and Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.